since I have to sit on this side of the keyboard, if I can transpose it the other way. Let's see. Yeah. So did anybody grow up in a little town like I did that had video rental stores that were kind of small, independently owned, not really your blockbusters, but more your kind of small places? Well, sometimes they had a small collection for kids, like right when VHSs first came out, and a small selection of Disney movies. Well, that's where I ran into this one. My mom was a fan of old movie stars like Shelley Winters and female singers that sang things like I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, like Helen Reddy. So this particular movie went hand in glove with her cinema-going philosophies. This is Pete's Dragon. Now, not the new one. Not the new one that Disney did. The original one that Disney did. That had Jim Dale in it, and it had Mickey Rooney in it. Red Buttons was in it. Y'all, tell me you didn't want Nora in that movie to be your mom when you were mad at your mom, right? Like, that's that movie. And I love it at the beginning when she talks to Pete, and he tells her about the dragon, and she believes him. And he says, well, why do you believe me? And she says, well, I believe in silly things too. My fiance went out to sea on a fishing trip a few months ago, and he never came back. And I think he's still going to be okay. So I believe you. And after they meet, she climbs the lighthouse and she sings this beautiful song to the horizon. And I thought that since First Line Shave has its certain foundations in some first line things that we'll talk about tonight, that this was an appropriate song to sing to welcome our special guest tonight, Michael Riley. I'll be your candle on the water. My love for you will always burn. I know you're lost and drifting, but the clouds are lifting. Don't give up, you have somewhere to turn. I'll be your candle on the water, till every wave is warm and bright. My soul is there beside you. Let this candle guide you. Soon you'll see a golden stream of light. A cold and friendless tide has found you. Don't let the stormy darkness pull you down. I'll paint a ray of hope around you, circling in the air, guided by a prayer. I'll be your candle on the water. This flame inside of me will grow. Keep holding on, you'll make it. Here's my hand, so take it. Look for me, reaching out to show, as sure as rivers flow. I'll never let you go. I'll never let you go. I'll never let you go. Yeah, little Disney music for a Sunday evening here. Hey, buddy, how are you? It's nice to meet you.
Good, nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, well, this is, we have got a few questions that we have come up with here. I have my Marcus Klinger patented get to know you fast, rapid fire questions. Feel free to answer them however you want. If you want to make up answers, that's great. You just can't pass. Okay, here we go. You ready? Soup or salad?
Soup.
What is your dream car?
Don't really. Okay. I just want a Tesla because on long family vacations, I hate having to navigate kids in the back seat and driving. No. So I just want that automatic driving. That's all I want.
Nice. Perfect. What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Oh, as like a little kid,
Sure.
God, I grew up on so it was Nickelodeon for me, right? So I grew up like Loot Your Shorts, all those, and then Nick at Night
on television.
Yeah, so Nick at Night also. So I grew up watching Dick Van Dyke.
SNL.
Yes.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Are aliens real?
It seems more likely nowadays that they are.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Favorite video game?
NHL. EA Sports NHL game. Big hockey fan.
Yes.
It's in the game. What was your best subject in school?
I loved history.
Nice.
Perfect.
Favorite singer or band?
Favorite bands, Beatles. Favorite singer, solo is probably Ozzy.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Boxers or briefs?
Boxer briefs. Like a hybrid, you know?
Best of both
There
worlds.
you go.
No.
Farthest you ever been away from home?
My wife and I, before kids, we went to Thailand for a vacation.
Okay.
So that's pretty far from St. Louis.
Yeah.
There you go. Bunk bed or race car bed?
I'm kind of a big guy, so I wouldn't want a bunk bed. Fear of like the whole Step Brothers crashing down on the person below.
Yes.
Right.
That could be terrifying. Jeep or convertible?
Probably convertible.
Bungee jumping or skydiving?
Probably bungee jumping. Start off slow.
I think you answered this already. Sinatra or Bublé?
Sinatra.
Sopranos or Godfather movies?
Sopranos.
Nintendo or Sega?
Nintendo.
Me too. Camping or five-star hotel?
Probably. I like the idea of camping, but once I'm there, it kind of sucks. So 5-star
A lot
hotel.
of work involved. Yes.
Dolly or Reba?
Dolly.
Waterbed or dry?
Right.
Snickers or Milky Way?
Milky Way.
Bra that hooks in the front or the back?
Front.
Drink from the carton or get a glass?
Glass. Well, okay. Can I explain?
Yes.
I had some really spicy Mexican food the other day, and my mouth was on fire. So it was an emergency. So I had to go straight from the carton. But normal circumstances, glass.
Non-emergency. Yeah. Brown eggs or white eggs?
I don't know. Whatever my wife buys.
That's a good
That's
answer.
a great answer.
Old Van Halen or new Van Halen?
God, old Van Halen, yeah. But
Okay.
I could go on. Yeah.
Okay. M&M's or Reese's Pieces?
Reese's.
Okay. Sandra Bullock movies or no?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Hot or cold weather?
Hot.
Coffee, black or with cream and sugar?
Only black.
Nice. Tobacco, vanilla, sorry, or green Irish tweet?
Tobacco vanilla.
Vanilla. Okay, good. Staying up late or getting up early? I don't know if you get to pick with your industry, but
I am a night now, so yeah, staying up late.
us too. Yeah.
Love it. Well, before we dive in, why don't you tell us how you found your way to this hobby and maybe how First Line Shave kind of got started?
So I give the majority of the credit to my buddy Brian Yost. He does a lot of my photography and everything else.
I saw him in here.
Yeah, I think we did.
Man. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he would always take these cool pictures of like Strike Gold Shave products, you know, with the DE blade and the razor and all that. And I would always, you know, see on Instagram all the pictures. So what I would do is I had cartridge razors and I would sign up for the free membership, you know, like Dollar Shave Club, whatever. I'd use my address, use my parents' address.
There you go.
Eventually I ran out of addresses and I didn't want to pay, you know, what they were charging.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him, hey, what's the deal with this? So he gave me a razor, he gave me some blades and a couple soaps to try. And then it was first few shaves was kind of rough, but then once I got the hang of it, this is when I was clean shaven. You know, I fell in love and then I got hooked like everybody else. So that's how I got introduced initially to wet shaving.
Very cool.
Nice.
And then how did that leeway turning into First Line Shave?
So I was a big fan of the hobby with, you know, and became good friends with Frank and a few other artisans. And then I always did, there's a local organization in St. Louis called Backstoppers. So it's only for St. Louis area firefighters, police, and first responders. If they die on the line of duty, Backstoppers will financially help out the families. So I did barbecues for Backstoppers and all kinds of other things. And then I came up with the idea, hey, let me make, 2 soaps, one for police, themed, and one for firefighter themed. So I started contacting some soap makers and getting prices on wholesale. And then I guess my ADHD took over and I became kind of obsessed with, hey, maybe I can make a soap. Maybe I can give this a try. So I made my first shave soap. My buddy Yost was, the test dummy on all of it. And it just kind of like spiraled and grew. Then I decided, maybe I'll get a website. Maybe I'll, have to let the government, I'm having a business. So all that just like over a course of like 6 months just grew. And then I released about 6 years ago, maybe almost 7, the Blue Label. That was my first one.
Wow. Now, let me ask you at this point, what do you do in real life, Riley?
What do I do with my life? Or say it again?
What do you do? What do you do in real life? What's your job?
Oh, I'm a police officer.
Okay.
There you go. That's what we were.
Yeah.
That's what we were getting to. So that's one of the reasons that I played Candle on the Water at the beginning. Is you are a first responder, and that sort of segues into the name of the soap. Can you talk about how you chose to name First Line Shave with the name?
Yeah, obviously, first line. It could have multiple things, like first line, like shave for your face, and then it's definitely first responder themed. Whenever I sell a soap, like $1 of every soap jar, I donate to Backstoppers. I have a spot on my website specifically just people want to donate. So it kind of it grew from there. I've been a police officer 20 years, since 2006.
Wow.
So I got the best job now. The past 5 years, I've been SRO at a middle school, which is the greatest job I've ever had. Like, if you ever you wake up and then you say, "God, I got to go to work." I don't get those days really. But every day it's just
wonderful.
It's fun. It's fun.
I'm sure you've earned it out of 20 years.
Yeah,
you probably have seen a lot, so it's nice to be on this side.
As a funeral director, as someone who picked up people for my home, there were a few situations where I had to work in rather closely with some police officers in some very, very tense situations. And I don't know how you do what you do, my friend, but I'm so grateful that you do. And I think on behalf of the wet shaving community, we just want to say, before we really dive in tonight, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you do and for taking care of our kids and the next generation of wet shavers. And making sure that they stay safe and happy at their school, how important that is nowadays. So our hats are eternally off to you, my friend, and the work that you do. And
it's nice knowing even your company continues to support in other ways that you can too. So that's very cool. And even the charity, the Backstoppers charity that you support, if it's okay, we'll start putting that link into your video review.
Oh, yeah.
In case people want to donate. So do you still consider yourself a hobbyist?
Well, okay. So we used to have to have clean shaving for a few years ago. I guess that kind of went away because, due to, hiring practices, it's harder and harder to hire qualified police officers. So they laxed on the beard. They've laxed on tattoos on the arm. There's a lot of former military people coming out of, the army or whatever. They'll have tattoos and, that kind of puts them out of the running. So now I can grow a beard. So that's when I started introducing some of my beard products. I'm like, beard oil,
here we go.
Beard butter. But yeah, it definitely keeps it interesting for, different things to incorporate in the lineup.
Right. Now let's talk about the early days of First Line Shave. Do you remember what your first few scents were that you made for the fundraiser? I know you said the Blue Label one, kind of, right?
Yeah. So I've grown with the fragrances. I wasn't really a big fragrance person. I had a few in the lineup that I always wore, but I had to kind of research everything. So I remember Yost and we used to live super close to each other. We'd go up to Sephora and we'd be spraying all of the, colognes on which one we liked the best. And then we do a blind smell test. And then we came up with the first one we liked was CK for Eternity, and then Dior Fahrenheit for the red label.
Nobody does Eternity.
Yeah.
Nobody does Eternity.
Apparently.
There's only maybe like a handful, maybe like two. I reference.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, I reference. I think it's a Thirsty Badgers page. Right. He has like a list of everybody that's done it, and I try not to do something that's been done a bunch of times.
Right.
Gotcha.
And then the other one was Fahrenheit?
The second one was Fahrenheit, the red label.
We haven't run into that one either.
No, I remember, I think, talking to Josue that he had searched and found those original ones. So they're out there somewhere. But
he's been bugging me to make it into Wagyu base. So maybe I got a little bit of oil that I got. So maybe I'm doing a big batch over spring break.
Nice. So you're already busy.
Yeah.
So we've noticed, speaking of scents and things, that we've noticed a lot of your favorites or some of your collaborations are with Joe, the fabulous perfumer from Black Mountain. Can you tell us how that collaboration and how you guys connected?
So Joe was always, I remember him posting a lot of videos on YouTube a long time ago. He'd do some like shave review stuff, and then just like, some kooky, interactions with different people. So I don't really remember how we got introduced, maybe just blind messaging each other, just, questions. Right. So he came to me with Kitawa, and he's like, hey, I got this scent if you want to do it. And that was like at a time where I'm dying for an original fragrance. I'm dying for like a new idea. So I contacted, I forget the name. His first name was Anthony. He did the weight artwork, and he did Kitawa.
Gotcha.
So he was really good at what he did. I tried to get him for a few different ones, but I guess he fell out of doing that. Right. So Joe came up with the whole idea. He's really in tune to his area and the history around his area, and he makes such good fragrances, and I'm happy that he chooses me to definitely put the product out there.
Right. So does he just kind of surprise you, or do you ever submit briefs
or like collab together?
Yeah, so a lot of them he'll send me like 3 or 4 different samples, like, okay, the note, this is up higher, the leather's lower, blah blah blah. So I'll send him feedback on what I like, and he doesn't just use me for that. He has 5 trusted people that he'll send stuff out and get first opinions. So he definitely goes through a lot of different people to see what works.
Yeah. Speaking of Joe, he says the great Versace Eros debate is how you two met. So whatever that was.
God, I gotta look back 10 years in our
old messages or something.
Was it Eros and Eros flame debate? Maybe
the yeah.
Maybe. So that was the Star Odyssey one. That was my 3rd release, Star Odyssey.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Nice.
So the Anthony guy also did the Star Odyssey artwork.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So I followed him on Instagram. I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. And I said, hey, can I buy the rights of that artwork to use for my label? So I paid him X amount of money, and he goes, yeah, sure, no problem. Take it. And that's how I got that one.
Cool.
That's fabulous.
Love it.
We need to talk about Kubrick someday when we're not on the air, because I am fascinated by that guy. Have you watched Room 237, the documentary about the
that's
theories
what it's called,
behind the show?
So I assumed, but
We'll talk. This will be fun. Okay. Yeah. If you could go back to the beginning and give yourself one piece of advice from your DeLorean, what would it be?
Oh man,
started.
That's a tough one, because I've always inched forward. I've never went all in, because finding time with family and everything else is rough. So I would give myself the advice to stay the course, find time for work, and especially focus on family.
Right. Good.
See, well, then now let's talk about your bases, because when Wagyu hit, let's just say my phone started going off.
Okay.
In the morning, as soon as somebody tried it, ding, 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 ding. So tell us about your different bases that you offer and how you found your way to Wagyu.
Yeah, the Wagyu base, I don't know. I always had the idea of using Wagyu, not just as a cool little, hey, it's Wagyu. It's, highly, high quality stuff, until I started researching actually, there are benefits of this type of fat compared to just regular tallow, which if you look at the difference in texture and hardness, it's like warm butter. Like if, you leave butter out on the counter on a hot day, that's how, soft it gets. And then regular tallow is closer to ice cream out of the freezer. So you can tell the difference between that. And I've always had different bases. There was like several years ago, a base war kind of going on with the whole, I don't know if you guys remember Rudd.
Vaguely.
Yeah. So he had a whole shave score going on, and everybody wanted to be at the top of the shave score. So that's like when everybody started reintroducing new bases and everything else. So I had I think it was my 3.0 base, maybe. I sent it to Rudd. He goes, he texted me, it's going to be about I think he said like a 98 or 100 score. And then never put the video out, went missing for like a year.
Oh, no.
I know. I was like,
no credit.
Just my luck.
You hit the lottery right before the office closed down.
No one knows about it. Yeah.
No one knew about it. But whatever.
About it here, folks. All 13 of you.
It's been recorded. Okay?
You heard it here. Oh, man. Well, this will be ported over to YouTube someday, so at least the record will be there somehow.
It'll get
there. We go. Right. Yeah, the Wagyu base. I found a good reputable company. Let's see if I got it back here. I got Wagyu tallow.
Ooh. Okay.
Got a whole lot of it back here. So
if I'm right, if I'm reading your ingredients right, that's the only difference between the two bases is that
that's the only difference. And that's how much of a big difference for post shave and residual slickness that it makes, I believe.
Well, see, when I first noticed that, it was funny because I was doing our first Wagyu review and I was, comparing the ingredient list. And when I saw, you know what? His base is so freaking good that he didn't have to change another thing about it other than sub in the Wagyu base. That's all he had to do, right? I thought that was very impressive.
I didn't just throw it in there. I sent it out to Josue and Lather Yeti. And Lather Yeti's he's now my go-to tester. If you've seen any of his videos.
The title. There you go.
He makes the best lathers in the world.
There you go.
Yes. So his videos of making a soap base just explode, regardless of who it is. It's just amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
Very cool. What's the most fun part about soap making for you? Like after all these years, is there still a part of it that's still the most fun?
It's it's coming up with the ideas with either Joe or myself, or I bounce them off my buddy Yost. Mm-hmm. That's the best part. It was like having something and then molding it into, a product that you can turn out. The worst part is the work.
The actual labor. Yeah.
Making the soap I hate making soap. Peter from A&E's been real cool. I picked his brain on the cookers that he has.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he suggested this giant that looks like a character from Breaking Bad of the cooker that I have.
Right.
So yeah, he's been real helpful in suggesting that, so I can make a big batch of everything and portion it out. And
how big of a batch does that size make?
So I bought it last September. It took 3 months to make, and I've used it once. And I did a smaller one, so it was about 500 soaps altogether. But
holy moly! Okay, that was not what I was
only half of what it could do.
Wow.
Okay, so big unit orders will now be.
That's cool, though.
I see.
That's awesome. I love it. Ooh. All right. Now, some of these are homages to different things, and one of my favorites. Where is it? Hold on, it was right here. No,
we didn't grab all the
Dylan one. Where's the Dylan one?
I don't know if it came out.
Oh, maybe we left Dylan in the closet. That's okay. How do you choose your dupe oils? Because we've noticed kind of in our dipping our toes into the fragrance world that there can be a lot of differences, not just in quality, but in actually how the fragrance was interpreted from homage house to homage house. How do you sometimes audition your dupe oils, or how do you choose which ones you're going to use?
So are you referring to the different companies that supply the oils? Yeah,
do you smell different?
Do you from a few and see which one you like best?
So I'll get the original fragrance either from like decants, .com from a reputable place.
Right.
And then I'll order a few different dupes from different sites that I've used. And then I'll pick the one closest to that. What we have been doing now, we work with a company that makes, duplication. So we have to purchase a large volume, like a 15 pounder or a 30 pound thingable. But they'll reverse engineer the fragrance and then make it for you. So, and I found that most cost effective and accurate, going forward.
Right. I think they, in particular, in the last, if we're not going to say who it is here, folks, but I think they actually got a glow up to their mass spectrometry equipment in the last 6 months.
Okay.
Because some of the things that they've been coming out with are way deeper and way more nuanced than what they've done before. And they've even started re-releasing a few things, and exceptional. So I think the technology, as it gets better, helps the dupe oils get better.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a few ones where I've had to send back, like literally, I just got 30 pounds of the weight oil.
Oh,
because they weren't able to produce that initial, I don't know, like astringent, like kind of that punch in your face smell when you first get the weight.
Right.
It took them forever to, dial it in. And finally they got close enough where I'm like, okay, this is good for the soap and we can move forward. So hopefully I can that next few months.
Oh, good. Yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed that one. What made you decide to add the little wax cover? I forgot to grab it, but when the splashes that like they're dunked in the wax is super fun.
Not my idea at all.
Okay.
That is such a tedious part.
I see. So select items get this, not all.
So my buddy Yost said, hey, I think it was the first one was Sutton Distilled. I think that was the first one.
I gotcha.
And it's the whole whiskey thing, like Maker's Mark dipped it. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
They dipped the bottle in wax, and Yost said, hey, dip that in wax and, mark it up however much money extra it costs. So I'm like, all right. So I did the math. I did like how much extra time. Like, okay, we'll mark it up $2 extra for, the wow factor. And I give him the credit for, making, the wax idea.
Nice. I like it because I can find my favorite splashes easy when I pull the drawer out. It's the ones with the waxes on it.
And it's always like, you just love peeling that wax like freshly off. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't drink anymore, so it is
I can't do my Maker's Mark bottle
our
anymore,
alcohol
so at least
comes
I
in
can
splashes.
do that. Yeah. How did you develop your nose? Were there any clues when you were little that you might be a perfumer someday?
No, not really. I grew into it. I grew up with stealing my brother and sister's colognes. Like my brother had Curve, he had CKB. I always loved CKB for some reason. It was like in that black bottle.
Yeah, the sequel to CK1, which got a little bit ignored.
It did. I thought it was great though. Because
it was softer. It was more gentle.
Yeah. So, and I always had, some Tommy colognes. My wife and I, when we were dating pretty young, I always wore Tommy T. It was like a late 1999, 2000 version. And it smelled great. I found a version of it on eBay. So I still have a little bit of a bottle of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it definitely has developed over the past 6 years. And then, you start going down the route of getting away from the designer ones and then going into like the more niche, like Roja Dove and all these other, really high quality colognes. And
there's some that you have built from scratch, though, scent wise. They're not all collabs and stuff. Which ones were those?
Yes. James was mine.
Okay.
The weight. And I think that's it. I have a Twin Peaks one that I'm doing, hopefully coming up this November. And I created
David Lynch fan as well.
David Lynch fan. Yep.
Nice.
Twin Peaks, my favorite show.
That goes with Kubrick rather well, I think.
Yeah. I like that odd, surreal type, movies and films.
Now, we've learned a lot about our sense of smell on this journey. And a lot of times, two things can really change a scent for me. Sometimes if I smell a soap right before I smell a different soap, it can really change how it smells. And the other thing we realize is that we think our show works well because we approach the soaps with absolutely zero expectation.
Right.
I think that expectation can be kind of the killer of the frag world, because if you're expecting Sprite but you get tonic water, you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
But tonic water is awesome if that's what you're looking for. So those are the two things that I've kind of learned. But I've kind of started asking the artisans, is there anything about our sense of smell that you wish we knew? Because we know how our eye can be fooled. We know how our ear can be fooled. But what's something about our sense of smell that you wish everybody kind of knew?
I feel that, so like in my workshop area, I cannot smell the soap. I cannot, smell a fragrance without, I have to literally go outside and, refresh my palate, my, nasal palate, and smell the soap that I made, because your sensories become overwhelmed, and it definitely like prohibits you from, figuring out what is in that soap and, the fragrance.
Right. We've heard coffee is not actually the best idea. It is contrasting, which is why it works, but it's still clogging your receptors. The best thing is to go outside for 5 minutes.
Okay, so I was on to something without even knowing it.
Yep. You knew it.
You are, if these people are to be believed. Let's see, where are we at here? Oh, I'm just gonna. This is just apropos of nothing. But do you have a couple of favorite movies?
Okay, movies are harder than.
I'm assuming this might be one.
Somewhere on the list, maybe.
Yeah, movies are harder than TV shows for me for some reason. Yeah. So my TV shows would be Twin Peaks. Another kind of Twin Peaks feel one was like a 2001 show on HBO called Carnival.
Oh, I loved that show.
That was one of my favorites.
The tall, bald guy with the tattoos?
Yeah.
Love that show.
Yeah. Set in the Dust Bowl era, battle between good and evil. It was great. Movies, God. Probably it's going to be on there with everybody else's, but Lord of the Rings. That's one of my favorites. The Shining, Space Odyssey 2001. One that most people won't say, but I love it for its conspiracy type feel, is Eyes Wide Shut by Kubrick.
Oh, nice. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting to do a soap based on that, but I haven't been able to find the proper artwork for that.
It'll find you.
Yeah,
It'll find you. Yeah.
I already have a name. I got a fragrance picked out, but the artwork is just not there. I don't know if it'll ever be.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Let's get back to the.
Actually, we do have a few questions in here before I forget.
Yeah. Let's give the community questions
earlier
here.
This time. Okay. We have the Scottish Shaver. I'm currently using Vivian in Wonderland for head shaves from FLS, and it's amazing. Awesome. And then Rob Fagan says, people say cartridge razors cause irritation and razor bumps, and credit the smooth shave to a DE razor. But how much of the irritation, in your opinion, is caused by canned chemical goop?
Good.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit. And also I think it's not prepping your face properly. So I've recently, I've done it 100 times before, but just like reintroduced, like I'll do a neck shave and a cheek shave. So I did a quick one, just whipped up a little lather, put it on my face, and it was dragging a little bit. So a few days later, I prepped my face, took a hot shower, scrubbed it, did the same process, was like butter. So I think prepping your skin, with a hot towel or something like that, just to soften the hairs, is one of the biggest things you can do.
Right.
Gotcha. Lathered Yeti, what is the one first line shave scent that is discontinued you'd most want to bring back? Or the one you were most surprised didn't sell better?
Oh, two good questions, actually.
There we go.
Let's do them separately. Which one would you ever want to resurrect?
None of them have really gone away. I just stopped producing them just because everyone who wanted it had it,
Okay, so organically, it just kind of...
Yeah, it just kind of faded away, like the blue, the red, You go through customers over the time, like the people who, get obsessed with wet shaving, and they want to try everybody's soap base and this and that, and they cycle through, new people pop up all the time, and who would want that? So I'm probably going to bring blue back and red one for the Wagyu eventually. Nice. One that didn't sell as well as I thought it would. God.
I guess that's a good problem to have.
Right,
if they all sold.
I thought Life and Death would sell but people, some people were kind of offended by the artwork. And they're like, oh,
it was a little cheeky.
It's fine.
So there's the naked angel, and then I'm like, well, the whole thing is like life and death go hand in hand. That was like the whole
right.
And with your line of work, you understand that all too well. So
I could be a little dark sometimes.
Well, I mean, it's normal, not normalized, but you're around it more than the average
You
person.
want to hear about what my dinner table conversation
I bet.
with my dad going on?
Yeah, I bet.
Little weird. Can we ask you this on behalf of the community? What's your favorite razor?
Or do you have one?
I have my favorite one, which I hardly use anymore just because I want to preserve it, is my dad gifted me a 1970 gold-plated Aristocrat Gillette.
Wow.
Oh, how cool.
Adjustable. Yeah. So I got it refinished and fixed up perfectly. So I'm just like, I've used it a few times and I just like, I don't want to mess with it.
It's more for the important, memorable shaves or like a specific getting ready kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe I'll shave with it in the summertime when I take the beard off. I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
Right. Here, just a little divergence into your real life. What do you wish everybody knew about being a police officer?
Obviously, I think people who know and who are sympathetic to the job we have, know that it's tough sometimes and you have to make a split-second decision. I think more police officers could have patience. I think when I tell new people to come, I say, do not be afraid to tell someone you made a mistake and you are wrong. If whatever it is, if you're on a call, if you're on a traffic stop, don't be so, pinheaded and, certain of yourself that you didn't make a mistake. So always, try to be humble in that regards.
Right. Wow.
I think that's for everyone in life as well.
Yeah.
Just
my mom actually had me practice being wrong just so I knew how to say it. Seriously, but just so I could say, so you knew it wasn't something to be ashamed of. It wasn't something that you had to hide or lie about. Just say, I was wrong. Yeah. What scent would you recommend for the newbie shaver?
The newbie shavers, out of my line or just in general?
Yours. Yeah. Well, if you had to reach for what you have
Although
available.
if you would like to cross enemy lines, by all means.
So I would suggest something so my first ones were Strike Gold Shave. I'm a good friend with Frank. We did Washington together. First version of
Washington together?
Yes, the first version of it.
We just shot the first version. Gotcha. Yeah. I was going to say we just shot that one.
So I would say Kennedy, that one, and Ike. Those were my two of my first ones, and I love those. They're just so classy feeling. It depends on your age range too,
Mm-hmm. True.
So, obviously.
What about from your line?
So my dad keeps harassing me about bringing back the Blue Label. He has a big old beard. He's retired, and he loves Blue Label and he loves Washington. Those are the two ones he just keeps harassing me about. So Blue Label's a good start if I have it, but it's such a easygoing designer fragrance that smells great.
Right. Mm-hmm. Are most of your customers in the community where we kind of see them on Facebook and stuff, or are most of your customers kind of out there in the dark?
I think the majority of them are just out there in the dark. Right. So, yeah.
Okay.
And the biggest base of my customers are California and Texas.
Oh, wow.
Represent.
Yeah, that's what I tip to the most.
Yeah, there's a grocery store right across the bay just started carrying Holy Caw.
We were like,
wow. Oh, no kidding?
It's so crazy.
How cool is that? Right there on Sir Francis Street.
Yeah, I thought it was the coolest thing, like seeing like my soap in a store, like either pet store or, razor company. That's like the cool thing.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, I am just now, after 3 years, this is why we don't really focus too much on the shaving part. We certainly don't show it because of how bad I've been at it for 3 years. I am just, and I mean, let me be clear for some newbies. I don't mean to scare you off. After a week, you're going to be good at it. It's going to be a much better shave than your cartridge ever was. However, much like being a surgeon, there are nuances to what you do and things. And I am finding now that there are a few basic things that I kind of just breezed over or missed. One of them actually, Chris Cullen that actually hit on, was that people apply way too much pressure with their DE razors in general. Is there anything about wet shaving that you'd love to pass on Like
we talked about the prep technique, but is there anything else besides that?
Yeah.
I think so. Obviously, the prep, choosing a good soap. There's so many good soaps out there. It's, whatever theme you're into. I think that the artwork is what first catches you, and then obviously the artisan and their reputation. So it's the whole thing. I had a question for you. Have you dabbled in any straight razor shaving?
We have not been brave enough yet.
No?
Jeremy Fletcher sent me one.
Okay.
One in the house.
He said it's just been sitting on a shelf, so just use it someday if you want to. And Douglas Embry has, of course, offered to sit with me and
walk him through
online and walk me through it. But maybe for my 60th birthday, I'll do that.
Yeah, a little tough.
But I could never. I don't have any. I could never get the hang of it. So I can do like down to here and then down to here. Once I started getting the curves, like a chin or this, I'm bleeding everywhere. I even Frank gifted me like a beautiful, like it was like an 1898 old, barbershop one. I got it upstairs and he honed it and did everything. I tried stropping. I'm cutting the strop up, going the wrong way. And it was a nightmare. So I have them, but double edge is my choice.
Right. Yeah. Doug Lane's always encouraging me. He says, you already know the angle. You're a lot better at it than you already think you are, but I'm still reluctant.
We're still a little weary over here. Yeah. I think because he plays piano too, like having any sort of blade
having that kind of blade around these fingers is a little
just the added stakes,
Right.
If you had to do a single scent note soap, what would it be?
Probably sandalwood.
Nice.
That was another
What's
one.
What's your least favorite? Do you have
my least
favorite scent note?
Oh, gosh. By itself, patchouli.
No kidding.
Okay.
By itself.
See, that's like me. I went to San Francisco State University, and I'll tell you, it was used to cover a sin back then, and it was not pretty at all.
Yeah,
when I first started smelling these barbershops, I was like, oh, it's beautiful now.
Yeah,
that's why it's in the weight. That's why that note's in there, because they used to cover the scent of dead bodies back in the day.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally.
Every note in there has a specific, there's rose. Also, you get roses, they say a man only gets flowers at his funeral. That's what, the little thing says. And every note in the weight has some symbolic meaning.
Right.
Love that. And now we feel like we have to go back again and do all these because we learn as we go after we do an episode. Then we find all these like fun, cool facts, and we're like, oh, well, now we know.
We're going off script here a little bit. Well, we've gone off script a lot tonight. This is fun. Where are we right now, post quarantine? Now that everything is kind of leveled back out, where are we at now with the hobby? Is it growing? Is it kind of staying level? Where are we at?
I think it's growing. I don't really. Like sales wise, it's more consistent than it has been.
Good.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's because I'm, getting out there more. Joe, he's great at creating fragrances. He's good at talking to people online. I'm not so much. I am a introvert through and through. And
that's not a bad thing. Yeah.
No.
And I have to be pushed sometimes to get out of my comfort zone. And Joe, where I lack, he definitely makes up in a great partnership.
Oh, that's great.
That's very cool. Yeah. So it seems like people have found you along the way that have added to this journey in those little places, which is good.
Right. Yeah. There's people, I've had so many conversations with people about soap and about life, all through Instagram and Facebook. It's been great. I still want to
enjoy that.
Yeah. I still want to do a shave meetup. I have yet to do a shave meetup. There was a few I was going to do, and then COVID hit and everything went in the crapper.
Right.
And then
life went to
and then nothing's really close enough to St. Louis. I'm going to try to make my way down to Texas, maybe this year, and do the one with Barry. And
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Now, your sense, I find that the longer we get into this hobby, the more when I approach the shave cabinet at night, I'm not looking for it. I don't start with a particular scent in mind. I start with an artisan. I start with what razor do I want to use, what blade do I want to use, and what soap's going to be best. And then I dive into the scents. And when I choose a first line night, yours are just so different, Riley. They're so rich. They're so dense. They're so masculine and yet in their own lane to such that it's not even the same freeway. A lot of them have other elements to them. The intensity is always absolutely fabulous, which is kind of my thing. I'm a little weird in that, but I love being able to have a scent so rich you can really get your nose under all the nuances. Can I start here by asking you, what other scents are, because I think some of the boys would like to know, what other colognes do you wear that are in your collection? Because we love your nose.
So right now I've been wearing a lot of Azzaro Wanted, either it be like Wanted by Night or, Wanted Extreme. I've been actually buying the real deal bottles of those ones. Right. Which surprisingly, longevity, they suck. They do not last more than a couple hours. Yeah. So
wow.
I'm probably going to buy the dupes of those and then make them a lot stronger so they last. But right now, that for colder weather, that's been in my rotation.
Love it.
Nice. We just shot our first Azzaro review. Sterling released the SpongeBob one, SB129, and that's Azzaro Chrome.
That was our first one.
So we now know a little bit
about 2% battery left.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good.
So last question. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Maybe. Or it could have been my sister walk into the bathroom at midnight. But it looked like a ghost, or she looked like a ghost. I don't know.
Okay.
That counts.
It wasn't really her.
I was scared.
We're taking that as a go.
That counts. Mm-hmm.
Who was that last one? Was it Chris Cullen who actually saw the Jersey Devil?
Yeah, that one's a winner.
I was like, I wasn't expecting that.
I thought I saw a chupacabra once working the streets.
The ghost.
But it was a fox. It was a fox with mange. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess.
One eye closed,
Right. Well, listen, Riley, thank you so much on 2 levels. One, for the work that you've done for the last 20 years to help keep us and our kiddos safe. And then letting a lot of that, somehow, I can kind of sense that. There's something about the security in these soaps. There's something about the camaraderie in these soaps. Thank you for putting so much. Did he freeze?
I think so. Keep going.
I think we lost him, but he can watch this later. Thank you for putting so much love and care into the line of products that you make just for us degenerates in our shave mirror every day. There's a reason that you are one of the most beloved scent and soap makers in the business. And I know that Joe has an awful lot to do with that too. Joe, we'd love to do one of these with you someday too and talk about perfuming. You are on the list. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for spending this time with us, giving up a little bit of your Sunday afternoon to come to our barbershop.
After losing an hour staying up for us.
Indeed, yeah. It's a lot later now than you feel like it.
True, yeah.
The other way around.
But
you know what I mean.
Much appreciated. And I think you all, I'm watching the chats go by, which is very cool. Everyone's just praising everything and saying thank you to him as well. But all the details into the labels and the artworks they were mentioning as well, which is it's just nice to have little different artisans. Everyone that we meet with has their own little mark. And I feel like just between all the labels, like that's what helps me decide if I'm going to shave with one a lot of the time. So
you'll watch this later, Riley, but I don't think I've ever had a conversation with somebody about their favorite scents where you have not come up real early in that conversation. Mm-hmm. But everybody knows this.
Yes.
Hey, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out. We've got a few very special guests coming up. Noble Otter's going to spend some time with us here. Let's see, as well as Ariana and Evans to help debut their new line of jars and all that kind of stuff that Peter's got going on with the Ultimate 2. So stick around for those coming up here in the next few Sundays, and we will see you in our normal barbershop on Wednesdays and Saturdays over on YouTube. We've got about 15, 20 people in all our chats now, and it's just awesome to hang out with all these friends from all over the world, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.